Hey, even more so, Gary. You know what?
What?
We need to put his what because it's a weird handle. What is the handle for TNC on YouTube?
TNC Radio.
TNC Radio. Yeah.
No live, just
No.
TNC Radio. Okay, because
Um,
we need to put that
no,
up
Radio
because
Live.
that's what people here will click. You know, they might not go to the .live, but they will check out a YouTube channel.
Yeah, I'm gonna post it in the chat.
Yep.
How do I want to word that? Because you're going to ignore the chat, right? You
Yeah,
should.
when it's on the radio, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we're live.
I know. I see it up there.
I
But
just-
that's all right. They can
Hey,
see
everybody.
behind the scenes. Yeah, they can see what we do behind the scenes a little bit.
We're everybody the few in here already, and as you guys show up, we're gonna go live on the radio here in a minute. Tom Kelly in the middle here is gonna bring us in, and that's at tncradio.live. For those of you listening in the car, it might be something you guys want to check out. They also Tom also has an app, TNC. You can find that on the radio channel, but also he has a YouTube channel that we'll be posting here that you guys should check out.
Yeah. So
As he slowly starts to populate or quickly, actually.
yeah, a lot of stuff the last couple of weeks here.
Yeah, that's what I said. I looked not too long ago, and it was like, I don't know, he dropped like 100 episodes or something.
Yeah. Like that.
I've got like a total. I've made like 238. Tom's gonna be like 5 times me in like a week. He's gonna put everything old up.
Yeah, well, 450 TNRSs, so that's 450 shows right there. Plus, we do another 15 shows or 12 shows, new shows a week. They have for the last year. So, yeah, lots of stuff we can put out there.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for bearing with us. We're gonna get started here. When Tom brings us in, guys, I'm not. If you're here, I'm not gonna be watching the chat until we go to radio break, since this is a simulcast with the radio station. When he brings us in, that'll be when we're starting, and I'm not looking. But when he says we'll be back and we go to commercial break, then I will look over at the comments. I know Gary will be checking too, or maybe he's not either, but. He absolutely said I shouldn't be, and I agree with him. So.
Yeah, you shouldn't. I keep a watch on him, and I think Tom watches him a little bit too. But you get so sidetracked.
It's like a full-time job to look at the comments, especially when you play catch up sometimes.
Yeah. Well, what I'll do is if I see any comments, I'll star them. So
that's what I was going to ask. That's the best thing.
When we go to commercial, you can go back and check them out.
Yeah.
Or if I think it's something really important to our conversation, I'll pull it up.
Right.
Tom, did you watch? I know you got less than a minute, but did you watch him last week try to imitate you going live?
No.
My computer froze up.
No, you're good.
No, it froze.
It did. That's because of that wonderful internet that you have at your house.
Mm-hmm.
No, I have to check that out. Was it pretty bad?
Yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible. I was like, why you sound like a serial killer? Oh, I gotta start having him send me his topic sheets for the radio.
Yeah.
I never know what we're gonna talk about.
Neither do we.
A lot of times it's a repeat of what we already talked about on Thursday, but did you have a good vacation?
It was different. Tell everybody about it here in just a minute.
All right.
All right, going live in 20 seconds. All right, on the radio side, going live in 3, 2, 1. Welcome TNC Radio.live. This is Driver Nation on a Friday night. I'm Tom Kelly along with Steve from Rideshare Rodeo and Gary from Gary's Apps. And we're going to be with you here for the next couple of hours talking rideshare, gig economy, and all that kind of good stuff. And looking forward to spirited conversation. We always talk about some pretty interesting stuff. But for the first time ever, well, maybe I guess there was one other time where I missed a show. So, but for one of the first times ever, I missed the show last week. And Steve's here right now because, well, we all know he has a wonderful internet setup at home, and we need to help him with that. Maybe we could take up a collection, get him a
GoFundMe.
Yeah, something, so that he can actually, carry on an entire conversation without pixelating at any point. That would be good.
He should definitely start rebooting his stuff before the show.
Yeah, that would be good. Oh, there he is. Nice to see you in here, Steve. So
the show started?
Yeah, we're going to talk about getting a GoFundMe page set up for you so that we can get you some decent network equipment.
See, I practice all day making the equipment look crappy so that you guys, I knew you'd do that eventually. Like, look at him and his slow. Oh my gosh, we got to improve everything for him. Yeah,
we got to fix the whole thing because
he's really got a 5 gigabyte service going. And
so, guys, I've traveled since this show started last week. I traveled over 2,000 miles by car. Matter of fact, I left at this time last Friday night, and we were back home within 94 hours. Having driven from the Johnson Space Center to the Kennedy Space Center and back again. And in all that, didn't sleep a lot, but we had a good time. It was my son and I. My son's in his 30s, and he's muckety-muck for NASA, so he scored me tickets to the Artemis launch. And we took off and drove all the way over there. It didn't happen. It could have happened. As it turns out now, they as they look at everything, they've decided that they could have launched, but there were a couple of things that scared them, and so they backed off a little bit. But if those exact same things happen again tomorrow, they're going to launch anyway. And
yeah, it's where I can see all those launches from my house down there.
Is that right?
Yeah, because they go right there off the Cape Canaveral, and I'm just south of there. 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but yeah, I rumbles the house and everything. And at first when you get there, you're like, wait, and it's every night. A lot of people don't realize that they have a lot of spaceships that go up there, wow. Satellite dishes and things like that. And whenever I don't follow NASA. So whenever I first got down there again, I'm like, why is my house rumbling all the time? And then you get the large boom and things like that, and it's typically 2-3 times a week.
Yeah, well, and this would have been the largest boom you've heard yet because it's the largest rocket they put up there. Actually, this particular rocket is just slightly smaller than the Saturn rockets that they used for Apollo, but when they get to Artemis 3, that will be somewhat larger than the Saturn rockets.
Yeah, so, I've seen them scrub launches for clouds.
Yeah, not for this stuff. These can take a lot. It can even take some precipitation, but lightning's bad, and you probably saw the lightning strikes that took place a couple of days before the launch, and so that was kind of scary. But they made it through that okay. We were very close. As I looked at it, we were just a couple of miles away, which is very close.
Right. Yes.
The assembly building was over to my left just a little bit, but straight on. We had perfect viewing seats. We were in the VIP area, and the guy with the speaker, we're here at launch control waiting for and I mean, it was very exciting, but we had to leave to go get on the bus at 12:30 a.m. So our bus left its particular spot at 2:15 a.m. We went, I don't know, maybe 10 miles. Took us 45 minutes because of all the traffic. There were a couple 100,000 people there, but we got to our spot there at Cape Kennedy,
right,
at the Kennedy Space Center. I mean, and we were the first bus there in this particular area. We had to wait for other buses to stop because they were afraid a bus might keep going and whack down a bunch of people or whatever. So we had to wait a little bit to get off the bus. And then I was on air on the Steve Summers Overnight Drive, which is a show we carry here overnight, Monday through Friday mornings. So it starts on Sunday nights. Maybe you're in Central Time, it starts at 11 p.m. But so we were on there giving them updates all the way through. And then, of course, got the disappointing news that what wasn't going to happen. They saw three things. One was there was a valve that they weren't sure about. Turned out it was closed. It didn't say whether it was open or closed. And so it was creating some consternation. They had a crack. It turned out it was just a crack in the foam, but just where it was kind of iffy. Because it was right at the flange. But then, once they looked at it, they realized that if it was a real crack, it wouldn't just be a line of ice. It would have been a major issue and stuff flowing through. And then the thing that was really concerning, though, was that engine number 3, you got to cool down these engines to negative 400 degrees.
Right.
Okay? And engine number 3 report that it was at negative 400 degrees. And the problem was the documentation said we're going to use these temperature sensors to determine the temperature of the engines. But the thing is, if a temperature sensor isn't working right, it scrubs the launch. And the problem with that is you cannot put liquid hydrogen, which is 425 degrees, into the engine and have it not be negative 425 degrees. So it doesn't matter what it tells you, whether it says negative 500 or negative 200. It doesn't matter what it says. It by the laws of physics, it is going to be, but because the documentation said, so they've changed the documentation, is the fix for tomorrow, to say it doesn't matter what the temperature says. If we know from these other data sources that that there is liquid hydrogen in this engine, we're going. Okay, so it's not about what some sensor says. It's the laws of physics. We know that if it's in there, it doesn't matter. You can say minus 200, you can say plus 1200, doesn't matter. If it's in there and we can tell whether or not we have liquid hydrogen in there, then it goes. So the rocket takes off 5 million pounds. It has 8 million pounds of thrust. Takes off, and when it comes back, guess how much it weighs?
Probably not that much.
58,000 pounds. It's all that comes back. Yeah. So it gives you an idea how much all that fuel and the engines and everything weigh. But it's pretty cool. They're going to be up there on the far side of the moon with this thing and collecting some data to see if there isn't enough water to separate hydrogen and oxygen from the southern polar cap of the moon. And they think there is. And if there is, that means they don't have to take as much fuel with them, because that separation process, I mean, kids do that as a science experiment now for science fair.
Right.
So if they've got all that, then that's all it takes to get the thing going. So if they can do that, then you can launch from the moon to Mars, and much less, because then you don't have to go through Earth's atmosphere which is what takes a
Right.
whole lot of fuel. And so you can launch either from the surface of the moon or from a space station orbiting the moon, and get to Mars much easier than trying to leave from Earth to get there. So
Sounds like you had a good time, though.
yeah, no, it was great hanging out with my son. Those of us with sons who are of an age where they've become their own person, and mine, of course, now being in his 30s, and his son, it was great to have all that time. We argued about politics and jammed out to music and listened to audiobooks and everything you can do when you're stuck in the car for 30 plus hours.
He said, "Argue politics."
I know. I was just thinking, because it's my son's birthday today, and I was thinking he's only 16. We're not quite at arguing politics yet, but it's not long before he's going to have an opinion I'll shoot down.
Yeah. You got to tell them what it is that they actually believe,
Oh, well, no, I think he's developing a posture that I think he won't be too out of sync with what I know and believe.
Yeah,
maybe, but I doubt it. It would be hard because I'm pretty open-minded.
Yeah.
So, as long as it's logical.
Well, and that was my thing. That's where I kept coming back. Because I hate both sides.
Yeah,
a lot.
Exactly. So, but as long as your thinking is logical, then what can you do?
And that was, I was constantly pointing out logic errors. And that didn't always go over as well as I wanted it to, but it was like, okay, well, that's great. I'm glad you feel that way, but you can't have that and what you said 30 minutes ago. You got to pick one or the other. Otherwise, you're not being consistent. And he was, oh yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
But that's not fair.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and that was a lot of the conversation around the politics is what is fair these days, and
nothing.
We're trying to be fair, and that such and such isn't fair, and oh well, so such stuff isn't fair. That sucks, but sometimes
I think I think allowing groups to donate to your running for a campaign or running a campaign needs to really be restructured right there. These special interest groups that just wait. I mean, but at some point, even maybe some of the special interest groups don't even let them throw in. I mean, I don't care about throwing this one in. Don't let the cigarette companies be involved.
Right.
They should not be able to give any politician money. That should be illegal funds. Because we already know where all that gets pushed to is to a very negative thing. I mean, will cigarettes go away? No, but at some point they'll be like $25 a pack. And so a lot of my guess is more people will quit based on the price of cigarettes at some point.
No, we said that when they was, I remember as a smoker, I smoked, I don't know, it's been a long time now. So, but I remember saying, I'll quit when they hit like $2 a pack. Well, they hit $2. I kept smoking. Eventually, I did quit just because I got tired of smoking. But then I have friends that, whenever it hits $5 a pack, I'm going to quit smoking. Well, now it's like $6 something a pack. They're still smoking.
Yeah, I thought he went even higher than that.
Oh, I'm sure some states are, but
yeah, I don't know. But yeah, anyway.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to take our first break on the radio side. So let's do that. And I'm going to make sure we get the phone lines set up and all that kind of good stuff. You're listening to TNC Radio.live. This is Driver Nation on a Friday night. Stay tuned.
Wait, I can hear it.
Oh. I can hear it. Yeah, I was like,
yeah.
Watch. There's I'm gonna
that one little clip.
It's gonna get it, but I'll have it removed. I'll ask to have segment removed, but it will get a warning. Not a strike, but a warning. It'll or whatever it is. Yeah, I don't know though. It's the Beatles. The Beatles gotta be careful.
If the phone's not set up, I can change that to our StreamYard.
What?
for people to call in or join.
No. Dude, don't put that on.
I'm trying that.
That was me singing YouTube. That was me just jamming out here. No, that's what I say, because he said he has to set up the phones. So because I just put him at the ticker because we had it before.
Oh well, yeah. Why don't you put his YouTube handle and just say sub2? Because that's what people should look at. Is that?
Well, no, I mean I put that in there for.
I haven't even looked at chat
to join.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
there's
hey Brian, what's
there.
up? Yeah. No, it says Gary, send me. They're close to 10 a pack. See, man, like wow,
that's
dude.
what I'm saying.
Yeah. See,
and look, and he's still
I don't
smoking.
So I don't know, but wow, dude. Yeah, I thought. I don't know why even. I just maybe being at 7-Elevens or whatever. I was thinking about 8, and then you said whatever. You said 6, and I was like, I thought that was like years ago.
He didn't have a handle that I can share, so that's what.
Yeah, he does.
No, like I'm on his YouTube right now, and there's no actual @ sign for it.
Oh, you mean he hasn't? It's like Hannibal, man.
He hadn't set it up. Yeah.
Yeah. I noticed that with Hannibal's too.
But if you type in TNC Radio Live into YouTube, then it should.
But that's why, because you got to put live. If I just put TNC, no. But if I search, what was weird. Was the first time I searched it, it was it didn't show it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't smoke anymore, Brian. I can check though. Like the last time I seen him was like $6-7. But I don't pay attention to those prices because I don't smoke. So.
All right, I got the phone stuff set up. Sorry for the.
That's all right.
Little stuff there, but we're all set. I just figured out an easier way to do that too, guys. So there you go.
Look at him. He's figuring out all the easy shortcuts.
That's right.
Oh, and if anybody listening, watching, whatever, make sure you go download the TNC Radio.live app as well.
Or at least sign up for their YouTube page.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these people are just on YouTube. This is, if it's a YouTube thing, they'll get involved. If it's not, they won't.
Well, starting September the 19th. Yeah,
yep.
Starting September the 19th, we're going to start one of our giveaways again. We're going to give away 2 $1,000 checks each day for 5 weeks.
Oh wow!
Dude, by the way, thank you for giving me 6 of those last time. If we can work out my how many I'm going to get this time, that'd be great.
So yeah, we'll give you more information as we get. Yeah.
Wait, I'm in this time. I need my cut.
Well, you got to wash it for him and give him some back.
Yeah.
It's
all very complicated.
It's all illegal.
Yeah. Sure.
Throw it in my washer. Send it back. Okay.
Yeah.
Just send it through PayPal. Get it through PayPal and send it through Venmo. It's washed.
Right. It's washed.
All right. Coming back in 20 seconds here. In 3, 2, 1. Welcome back on a Friday night, TNC Radio.live. This is Driver Nation, Tom Kelly, along with Steve and Gary, here talking about all sorts of things. Deliveries. Biggest delivery was from Earth to space. Didn't happen this past week, but we're scheduled to try it again tomorrow. But in the meantime, guys, what you been up to, Steve?
A lot this week, actually. I did a round table. I'm doing a series of 5 for para. And I did the first one. Everyone has a different lineup next week or 2 weeks because of next week's the holiday, but 2 weeks, Gary will even be on that one. I mean, I've got a different panel every time for the 5, and they're cool topics. We had the round table last night. I did the last of my summer live podcasts on YouTube, and I'm moving it back to the studio way now for a bit. But it was the last one of summer for the co-host, and I had Jason Thierry. Remember that guy?
Oh yeah, Jason
Remember
will be
that
back,
guy with the beard and stuff? Yeah.
back next week. We look forward to it.
Yep. So anyway, yeah. So he was my final guest for the summer, and did that, and just lots of stuff. You know, I wrote another article. I've been really busy, man. Working
Good.
Curry.
Nope, there it is. Yeah, get that out there. Curry, Curri, Curry.
Yep.
Check out curry.com.
Absolutely.
You can go to uberliftdrivers.com. You can see more of what Steve's been doing and learn more about Curry from there too. Duh.
Well, not really. You got to go to my YouTube channel to learn about Curry.
Okay.
Well, maybe you should write an article on it.
I'm trying to make that one of the ones they'll let me write, but they haven't locked up with them. So Moves, who I write these articles for, Moves Financial. Tom, if you're not familiar, Moves Financial is a gig, basically a gig-based bank. It's for gig workers. They'll extend you a line of credit up to $1,000, like if you need it to fix a car or something, whereas no other bank will, because you're a gig worker. They don't really value that at all. You're not going to get any of that. Plus, you attach all of your Uber account and everything. And for the hours that you work on each platform, that you can attach now 17, and they're the biggest ones: Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, all of them, Instacart. Whichever you attach, you earn percentages of shares for the hours you work.
Gotcha.
So you actually get shares of the company based on your work.
I was saying, write the Curry thing for your site.
Yeah, well, I asked, but I know here's the thing: is that Moves is looking to maybe do something with Curry, like very shortly here, even. So if they do, I already said, dude, I want to write that. But yeah, if not, I can do it for mine, of course.
I mean, you can do a short one for yours and then go more detailed into theirs, or do a short one on yours, and then if they don't work something out, then do a more detailed one on yours.
Yeah. I just you got to realize I have a deadline for an article every week with them.
With Moves?
Right. Yeah, at least for the next few months. So I got right now I'm working on this, after them having me do Winolo, which
that you've never worked.
Right. And so, but hey, I'm going to be honest about it. I haven't, but nobody had he had to write about the article, and they had just joined. So he said, it's fine that like I said, because I have to be honest. I'm not going to say I worked it. I can give general information on it. And I thought I did a good job. I kept it very basic and just about the platform, what I learned.
Mm-hmm.
I read some reviews. I feel okay with my article because I'm not saying I've worked it, but I do think if you read my article, I think that there's enough there to see that, hey, for certain people, this is a good thing. You might want to look into it.
Right.
It's not for me, but I mean,
it's more
somebody had to write on it because they needed it, and he's like, you got to do this. And I'm like, okay, but I pick my topics now. So I actually, no, now I did for doing that one, for taking one for the team. Right. Now, he's like, what's your next one? I'm like, independent contractorship and why the unions don't belong. He's like, okay. Cool. I'm like, sweet. I needed to prove I had full control. That was it. So.
Or maybe they're just giving you the illusion you have full control.
No, I mean, what's awesome is, all jokes aside, is that, their editor is cool with me, and they actually took my topic, and just like they always do, they send me back what the keywords are that they want me to use and how many times, or can I try to?
Yeah, for the SEO and all that.
Yeah, they've got all that broke down. So they took my topic and already sent me back a 2-sheet that has that breakdown for me. I was really impressed too, because I'm like, yeah, this is stuff I can include. So It's like somebody else doing the research on what's going to pull good hits on it. Whereas I don't really have the time for that too. You know, I can write the article, but don't make me do an SEO dive.
So I don't know how you do in like an article every day or week or like whenever I sit down and write, well, whatever I'm saying, whenever I sit down and try and write my article, I'm like, is this over yet? I'm like a paragraph in.
You know what I do, Gary, is I start them on my phone now. I'm just going to tell you straight up my process. I start them on my phone. I open notes. I make a new note, you know, the article name, and that's even in the works, right? I might just put what it's going to be about because I don't have a name title yet. And then I just make bullet points for like 2 days. Anytime I think of one, I open it, I put a bullet point in, bullet point. And then I go sit down and don't even really write it out, but write a sentence on each bullet point. And if I can't, then I take the bullet point out. And then I come back to it like a few days later instead of sitting down and going,
like I do. You get like one paragraph and you're like, well, I just summed up everything in one paragraph. And I need 400 more words.
Yeah.
How about you, Gary? What you been up to this week?
Working, coding. You know,
coding.
Yeah, I did write a few articles for my own blog, and you know, doing lives, and you know, I am one step closer to the iOS version of Driver's Utility Helper. It got approved for beta on the Apple Store. But I didn't send out any beta links because like when they finally approved it, I was already way past that beta part of it.
Of course. Yeah.
You know, and so now it's like got a complete different look. And I still got to work on the double orders that come in, but hopefully another week or so I'll have a working beta I can send out to all these YouTubers.
I don't think people realize.
Dude, I'll do this one. And you know, I don't do these. I don't do this crap. I'm not going to be a top dasher. I'm going to be a cherry picker from the get-go kind of thing. But I'll be a beta on this one.
I don't think people realize what a hassle it is to get these things through Apple's.
Gary does.
I mean, it took me. Well, I gave up. I'll be honest. I gave up for a number of months and just went with Android only because I just got so tired of dealing with the Apple people. And then I finally got there. And they have, when you download from Apple, you get some screenshots and stuff like that.
Right.
It was the wrong screenshot. I don't know where the hell these screenshots came from that they ended up using. I tried to change it. And by changing, it was like, well, we got to start the process over. Like, no, never mind.
Yeah, you got to get it all approved again.
Just go. Yeah, never mind.
Oh, is that why some apps that even probably are decent have sometimes I'm like, this is the best you could do on your screenshots because they did something like that, and they're like, dude, I can't edit, and they're like, no edit.
No,
fewer.
You just start over. You just start over from the very beginning.
Fewer and free.
Yeah, you would think that they'd have a simple process, like, okay, they didn't change anything in the actual code; they just changed the screenshots,
right? And
then look over those and improve. No, they go back through the whole process from start to finish again. Yep. And and a lot of people don't know this about Apple is Apple decides what apps you get to use. It's not developers, it's not anybody, it's the person reviewing it.
Yep.
And so if they decide they don't like your app for whatever reason. It could be something's off on the screen. It doesn't flow right. It could be color. I've had them reject apps for colors. And, you know, they're like, it doesn't make any sense to me or whatever. Like DUH, for example, my first version I submitted to them, they came back, they go, we can't understand your app. We can't approve it. Well, first off, it's not up to you to understand my app because you're not my core audience.
Right.
You know, and so then I had to go through and I had to write this whole 3-paragraph thing of what they have to do to use my app and what it's for and all kinds of stuff. And then I submit that again, and then it starts the whole process all over once again. You know, it's ridiculous.
Maybe they go, okay, well, now we know what it does and we like what it does. but that color contrast just doesn't work. So you're gonna have to change that. So you go change that, and now you start all over. And now they are asking the same questions again about what does the app do, and
Right.
it is such a hassle and such an issue. Like I said, I gave up for several months when we first came out, and so I think the Apple app was maybe 6 months after the Android app, simply because I didn't have the time to spend dancing through their little hoops there. Finally, I had so many truckers who were like, "You got to let us have the." It's fine. Fine. I tried again, and that time it worked. I don't know why it worked the second time, because I didn't change anything from the first time. But
Right. And see, that's the point I'm at too. Like I have a lot of Android users, and I have a lot of iPhone users that bought a secondary Android just to use my app. You know, but I'm getting more and more emails. Hey, where's the iOS? Hey, and I have to explain to these people, it's not me holding up the iOS. It's completely Apple holding it up.
Yeah.
You know,
But
I have the version.
But it speaks volumes too, that what Gary just said, because a lot of people do have two phones anyway. But it speaks volumes that people go get an Android to be able to use his app. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I mean, but it also shows that if when the iOS does come out, I mean, he's he's gonna get blindsided there, you know, by new users. I'm saying.
Well, and that's the scary part about it is, you know, like I'm gonna release a version, but then I know I'm gonna have to update that version. And if Apple don't like my new update, then there goes the Apple version again. Compared to Android.
You should just keep it to like, you know, 500 people at first.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Just cap it. Even I don't even know how to say, like, if maybe it's an extended beta, or like even once your beta part is done, I guess is what I'm saying. Like for a little longer, just keep it.
Well, that's
throttled
what
a bit.
Betas
you know?
can go. Betas are good for 90 days before you have to either submit a new update or publish it to the store. And that beta link, I can send that out to anybody. So that's what I think I'm going to do is, you know, once I get the beta where I want it, I'm going to go ahead and send out the beta links to, you know, the group, and I'm only going to allow like so many people.
So then what does a beta do? It lets you go to the App Store and get a betaed version of.
Well, you download the Test Flight app on your phone, and you download it from the Test Flight app. Like I would,
but you're still getting it from an Apple link.
Right. Oh,
where they've got their betas housed.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Apple's not going to let us. The only way you can share an external link like I do on Android is if you're an enterprise account. But to be an enterprise account, you have to have over 100 employees. And you know,
no, I knew it would be through them. I just didn't know if it's like.
That's probably going to be my next step if Apple keeps giving me a problem. Is I will all of a sudden have 100 employees from my Facebook group that I pay $1 a month to.
Or like I've said, Gary, I don't know why. I mean, maybe one day you can explain it to me, not here today, but I really don't know why you just don't do it on Linux, because you can run Linux on an iOS. And that way you could just do it right through the open source browser.
I don't know.
I
just got you thinking though, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Because they're still looking to go download the app from the App Store.
Yeah, but I'm saying if they want to keep pissing Gary off in the meantime, he could do this with the people that trust him and like him. He's got enough people that will.
But those aren't the people he's trying to. I mean, those people are the ones who are willing to go get the Android phone, right?
Right.
Yeah. All right. Hey, I'm going to take a break on the radio side here. So we're going to do that. We're going to be right back on in just a couple of minutes. You're listening to TNC Radio Down Live. It's Friday night. Stay tuned.
That was perfect time for you to say hello to the chat, Steve. A few more people.
Yeah. Hey, sorry, guys. Yeah, for those of you that didn't know, I've been advised to stay away from chat, and I'm doing so because I think it's a good idea too. Because it's a radio show, not because so when Tom brings us back onto the live radio, I won't have the comments showing, but I'll come back in between the breaks. So I want to say hi to everybody. I think I already said hi to Brian, but I'll say it again. What's up, Brian? How you doing? What's up, Cruise and Dasher? How are you?
Sure, thank you. Appreciate that.
I saw you I saw you the other night. I think you came in late to one of our lives. What's up, Jackie? How are you? How's Michigan? What's up, Rodney? How's California? What's up, Roy? How's Vegas? What's up, Emily? How's Arizona? How are you guys doing?
Wow, he knows who he is. Very impressive.
So impressive. I have auto geolocation in my head.
Oh, good.
I even know that. Let me see. Tom Kelly is in Houston, Texas.
Wow, amazing. Amazing.
You guys, Tom I see he just posted, because now that I'm in the chat for here while we're on the radio break, I see that he posted from hi all from TNC radio.live. I know Gary, I think, pinned something too, or at least put it in the chat. But
I'll put it again.
But Tom said hi in there from TNC. So if you guys touch that channel, yeah, because does it have, I'm not on YouTube, but does it have a wrench, you guys?
It does. He does.
Okay. So yeah. So if you touch that and say go to channel, just, check it out if you want. I would suggest, for those of you that check out all channels, check it out. He's got a lot of different things going on over there, and it's just getting populated. So if you get over there and you see like one podcast show or something that's got like 100 episodes, expect there to be like 10, 15 other shows coming. He's just populating it now. So
we're still kind of arguing a little bit about, and Steve, I might grab you sometime and we'll pull you into one of these discussions about how we want to organize these hundreds of shows that we've recorded in the last year, and the best way for people to be able to find them. Because a couple of schools have thought, a couple of different ways you can do it and build them into playlists or whatever. So I don't want to do that now, but at some point, what's the easiest way for people to find stuff they're looking for?
Yeah,
hey,
Tim
Kelly. How about that? Hi, Tim Kelly. Tim Kelly.
Tom.
There you go. We might disagree, though, on how to spell Kelly. That's the only thing.
What? Oh, because yours has two E's.
I'm EY.
The EYs are weird.
we were all we were thrown out of the Northeast for horse stealing. So
What's
we're
up, Tommy? How you doing, bud? Hey, Roy, you've never been on the radio show. I know that, and it's always because he's working Friday night. But if you're working and you feel like joining, man, join. This is the radio show. We're just visual too today.
Yep. And you can call in. The call-in number is pretty easy to remember. 706 TNC 0. That's 706-862-8620. We'll let you run.
860-8620.
No, it's 862-8620.
Oh.
You got it wrong. It's 862.
Gary.
I did, didn't I? My bad.
TNC
Maybe
0.
that's why Apple turned away your coding, man.
Probably.
I'm just
What are you talking about? It's right now.
Oh, no, you can't, Roy. That's cool. I was just saying. So just
with
us.
Well, hey, sorry, Steve, just bringing everybody back in on the radio side. Went a little bit long there. So you're listening to the Friday night, and it's Driver Nation. I'm Tom Kelly along with Steve and Gary, talking all things in the gig economy. Steve, tell us, what's the big news coming out of the gig economy this week?
I guess, something that isn't shocking, but is pretty bad that I saw yesterday. I actually had on our sheet to talk about last night on the roundtable too, but we didn't get to it. Was San Francisco-based Lyft faces, I'm able to look around my microphone here at my other screen, lawsuits from 17 passengers. And these are all rape related and whatever. Talk about a slam at a time when Lyft just can't afford that. I'm not laughing at what's happening. I'm laughing at this company. I'm literally, I want to start I wonder, Roy will know this. Like during the presidential elections in Vegas, You can go to the casinos and bet on who will be president, and they have odds.
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah, dude, it's weird, man. It's strange. And they've usually got it. I've enough times I've looked and gone, huh, but it's usually pretty close to what the numbers are. Like, I'm surprised that their people have it that dialed. I mean, it's like, if you like all these polls that come out, if you really want to poll, just go to Vegas and go visit 2 sports books and compare them. There's your polls. Because they're willing to put their money on the line. They got this shit stuff dialed. So beep. But anyway, these 17 lawsuits are just I just don't get it. I want to bet on who's gonna fail first, Instacart or Lyft.
Instacart.
But I have an article on Instacart this week that was saying how things aren't as bad as it seems. And they're gonna IPO. Yeah.
Well, we knew they were going to IPO anyways, but they're just
Right.
tanking before they IPO.
Right, but according to this, things aren't that bad. So here it is. It's in TechCrunch. So Gary, if you go to uberlyftdrivers.com, everybody, if you go to uberlyftdrivers.com, that's where we get our news. I bring in, sometimes I post the top headlines of the day, but you can always find the best stuff in there. Trust me. It's not just rideshare related. But in today's post, the 4th article down is Instacart clears path to IPO. It's in from TechCrunch. And yeah, I don't know. This is it's just weird. Because we were just talking last night about Instacart and how bad they're doing because of Spark and this and that. And it's like, every turn they make, they're losing these long-term contracts. They're getting slapped and spanked by Shipt and Spark and, DoorDash even. It's just like, why are you around? Their valuation of themselves got cut in half in a 9-month period. And then Bloomberg's evaluation said, no, you guys are 8 million too high, or 8 billion too high still. So it's like, what? And then it was like, you're only worth 14 something. And then there was news out saying that they were less than that. Now this is saying, which I guess there must be something here. They must have, I thought I saw that they hadn't filed, but they must have filed, because I know, like you were talking about, just like with Apple, there is a time limit once you file that you can't, you're not allowed to just file and then go IPO like 9 years later. You got to do it within a certain, I know it's no longer than a year. So whatever I think they might have filed, and I think they might be running out of their window. And they're at their worst point for like their value. I just don't get it. But they're talking about how like the orders have increased. Okay, well, has the money though, and I'm not just talking about the driver money anymore. I'm talking about what Instacart even takes. I just feel like they're getting, like we talked about this last night, they're getting buried by the other ones, and especially Spark. Spark is spanking them, dude.
Yeah, it says here that they filed a draft in May.
A draft.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
I don't. Though that's not a that. Well, that's a draft is when I don't know if they're going to the Dow or the NASDAQ. I would assume I don't know. Actually, now at their value, I don't know. I would have said the Dow actually, but
yeah, in July it says they're still valued at 14.7.
Okay, still they were.
Well, okay.
They were at 50 billion a year ago.
I said still because you said now, and I can't find anything that says they're lower valued now than they were in July. That's why I said
okay,
now.
But that's pretty bad though.
But yeah, before that, like a couple months before that, they was valued at like 24 or something like that.
Right. I mean, so let's be honest. If that's what they're going to go on, and let's say it's the Dow, I mean, it's just not going to react. First of all, it doesn't like these platforms. And even if the lower value, I think it's going to take a lot of things into account, which would, even if it was killing it, would already pay it disjustice. Like the markets have started to hate these things. You put them on the market and they're tanking, and the market's just like, what is this? I don't like it. Has no value.
Whole market's tanking. I mean, it's hard to say.
I'm just saying its reaction even before the tanking, though, to Lyft and Uber and things like that when the market was doing very well. It still didn't take. Uber went to half its value that it debuted at. Lyft went to a third its value within a month.
And DoorDash is down too from what they released at.
Yeah, but dude, Bentley Coupe assured us that it would be $500 a share. So just stick in there, guys.
I didn't buy any.
So, in the last year, Uber's down 30%, but it could have been worse. You could have put your money in AMC, which is down now 80%.
Hey, don't knock AMC, man. I made a lot of money off them.
Yeah, so
I'm not knocking them, dude. I'm worried.
Yeah. So you were part of that Robin Hood thing that invested a bunch of money in AMC?
No, I actually invested in AMC. I don't know. It was years ago, and I bought like, I don't know, 100 shares of it. Like it was cheap.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And then it started going up, and I was like, "Ooh, sell." It was great.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've got a watch list where I keep track of a bunch of transportation companies in the trucking and in the gig economy and in those industries. And it's just been wild all over the place, up one day, down the next. I mean, it's a really rough time. If you're a big time investor who has a lot of stuff spread out all over the place, it's just not fun. It's better just, don't look right now. Just don't look. Yes.
Yeah.
I've learned one thing is, as not knowing anything about investing or anything, is like put it in there and then don't look at it.
That's
because if I look at it every single day and it keeps going down, then it go up, go down. Like I tend to look at it on a monthly basis instead of like daily or weekly. But like I said, I'm very novice. Like I don't know a whole lot. I invest in what I believe I like. I don't go read charts and all that stuff. And it just, I don't know, it seems to work out.
Yeah. So my son got in that Robin Hood thing. He was telling me this in the car, and he's not a gambler or anything like that, but he got in, and his whole goal was to make $240. Why did he want $240?
Video games.
230 wasn't enough.
PlayStation console or whatever was $240.
A PS5?
So, yeah, I guess that's what it was. I don't know.
They're more than that, dude. You can't even find them anyway.
Well, what he wanted to buy, it was $240. He made $240. He cashed out, and he still has $100 left over after the profit of the $240. So he doesn't care anymore. Worst case now, if he lost everything, was he still got this PlayStation that he wanted. So there you go. If you look at it like that, you can have a little fun with it. If you're trying to, put together your retirement account, really hard to do that these days.
Well, I mean, people shouldn't invest what they can't afford to lose anyways. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
But maybe he's going to be a professional gamer.
Yeah. Whenever I buy stocks,
dude, they get paid.
That's what
One good professional gamer gets paid more than all three of us up here can make. So maybe he wants to just crush it and make $1 million a day. I don't know.
Yeah. Steve, you were talking earlier about the Vegas odds on the presidential election. Have you ever looked at some of the things they bet at in the UK?
No, but I mean, in Vegas, it's weird too. I mean, before we move on to that, just realize it's not just the election. You can bet on weird stuff, really weird stuff.
In the UK, I don't know if you can do this in Vegas, but in the UK, you can bet on who will die first. So they'll give you 3 names. I'm not being serious. They'll give you 3 names. So in this instance that I'm looking at, it's O.J. Simpson, Ray Caruth, and Ray Lewis. Okay, all 3 former NFL players. O.J. Simpson's a lot older than the other 2.
Wait a minute. Whoa. I gotta pull this back a little bit here because we just put a hit out on those three. Because hold on a minute. Because if you go put a ton of money with some gangster or cartel backing, and you really put enough on it, you just go off the guy and say, I won.
I guess. Well, but here's the thing.
Not. You go get what? You go, I put 10 million on this guy to die. You go buy $295 Soldier of Fortune magazine. You turn to the back page. You hire one of the vets. Boom. He's done.
No,
you just won.
It wouldn't work quite that way because pari-mutuel wagering. So if you pump a bunch of money on one guy, then for instance, right now, O.J. Simpson's minus 1,000. So to win $100, you have to bet $1,000. So if you bet $1,000, you could get back 1,100.
Okay, that's terrible. That's terrible.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if you put all your money on Ray Lewis, $100 bet, you could, and Ray Lewis kicks before O.J. Simpson, you could get $1,600 back. So I have out there. You know how sometimes people have like the betting pool at work. Hey, what time's the baby going to be born, and what sex is it, and all that? They have out there. I'm not making this up. They have out there what day and time will the queen die?
Nice.
What is wrong with people?
You know what's even worse is that people like think it through. Like,
yes,
probably be 1 a.m. based on my knowledge of her. So I'm going to put a bunch of money on it.
They don't check her till the morning. She usually gets up around 5:30. So I'm going to say 5:30, and let's make it a Monday because Sunday a lot of things are going on. So 5:30 on a Monday morning UK time. Let's see, not this Monday. I'm going to say 2 Mondays from now. There you go. Put $1,000 on that, and you hit it. You can make some money.
Dude, I can't remember how this played out, but I did a future speculation. I want to say this was like 2012. It was during a presidential election. And I always do some big sports bets on the team. If I believe in my teams that year enough, even to just put $100 on the Tigers, let's say if they're 36-1, but I believe in them. I've watched them build, let's say. So maybe I did that. And I'd play my tickets, a couple that I'll want while I'm there, take them with me. Hope for the best. But I always do like a parlay. I've done a parlay that was crazy. This one was the craziest ever. Somehow the season for hockey hadn't ended. Baseball and football were upcoming, and so was or maybe it was just baseball, hockey, and the presidential election. I parlayed the three. I put $10 down, and it was for the Red Wings to win the Stanley Cup. It was for the and they were having a decent year. It was for the Tigers to win all the way, and they were not favored at all, heavy odds against them. And it was for who I was voting for that year. And my $10 payout was going to be $37,000.
Wow.
Holy crap.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Why not?
All I got right was my presidential pick.
Oh, well. Good to try, I guess.
It's just fun to see the printout of here, give me $10 on that parlay. And then you see it printed out as win amount. And you say like $10 bet, 37 grand. Like,
and then everything he's picturing what he can spend that money on. Right. And then whenever he loses, he's like, dang, I'm so close. I had one out of 3.
I took loans out based on this.
$10 loan.
I owe some bad people some money.
I'm
gonna need my $10 back, Steve.
Yeah. Shit. All right. Hey, we're gonna take a quick break here. You're listening to TNC Radio.live. We got the top of the hour news, all that kind of good stuff. So we'll step away there on the radio side, but stick with us on the YouTube side. We'll still be here. Be back on the radio side in just a few minutes. TNC Radio.live, Driver Nation on a Friday night. Stay tuned.
Steve, I was telling him how bad your impression of him last week was.
Let's spend one. Yeah, I know. Let me spend one. Hey, Chris, what's up? You guys, again, I'm not watching chat. just while we're doing the oh, I like this, Jackie.
Yeah.
Tom, you see this?
Yeah.
He's working on those night moves against the wind.
I was filling up with gas a couple of weeks ago with my wife, and the guy gets out of his car and he goes, Garcia!
Yeah, you got a Garcia. If you let it go a little longer, you got the Garcia thing going.
Yeah.
You just got to chop off that finger.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Then you could really prove it. It would be like an Elvis sighting. You'd be like, yo, check this out. Because for those not familiar with what we're talking about, Jerry Garcia from the Grateful Dead, his brother, when he was younger, chopped off his finger. They were playing a game of, I dare you to leave it there kind of thing. And he left it there too long, and the brother chopped it off.
Wow.
So anyway, a lot of people, even in Rolling Stone, if you guys don't know this, a lot of people, a lot of interviews have wondered how much of his amazing guitar playing came from that, because he had an ability with his strum hand, missing that middle finger, to be able to easier hold a pick. So
Phil Keggy also lost a finger as a kid in some farming accident or whatever.
Yeah.
No, me and Steve ain't. The only game me and Steve are playing next is how many times I shoot him with a beanbag gun.
That's just because I'm a good pitcher.
So I'm a good shot too. Might have to do rubber bullets.
Or real bullets. Just like, sorry, man. What's up, Eric? How are you? Hey, Tom, when are we going to turn the page? I'm just full of it, man. I got Seeger songs in my head now.
Hey, it's because of you are not playing it right now.
Oh, why did you play it now?
It's because we're on the radio.
Yeah. We're on the radio side.
Yeah, which everybody, you can always.
So Jackie,
show.
if you kind of just wanted to just kind of at the breaks check in with what's going on over there, all you got to do is go to tncradio.live in another tab. Listen for a minute or two during the break, see what he's got going on over there. Check him out if you like it, but then mute it and come back over here. You can even leave the tab open.
Or you can download the tncradio.live app, switch over to it real quick and hit play.
Yep. But then you can't watch us.
Well, no, you can't watch this.
But you could open the
TNC
live tab, and as long as you don't mind old Godzilla movies, you could listen to it through there and mute this side. And it just won't be in sync, but our mouths will move. It'll just look like an old Chinese movie.
Why are you throwing me out? Aren't they on YouTube, though?
What's that?
Oh, sorry. YouTube chat moves faster than this chat, so that's why I keep YouTube chat open. But right there.
I am only playing catch up. And again, you guys, anybody listening that sees all the blue, what Pedro calls the blue wrench gang in here. I'm looking at the StreamYard side, but I know all you guys and you all have wrenches. So for anybody listening that I've had this pointed out to me, so I'm going to keep saying it because I just want everybody to know that please make a comment. And even if you don't have a blue wrench, please make a comment, because I do go back through these and look for people to make sure that they have the wrenches. I like you having it because then you can look at other people's channels. You can share a link. You can do things that
they give wrenches out like Oprah gives out cars.
Yeah, I mean, I make Oprah's Christmas look like a joke, dude. But at least I'm not Nova Dasher selling them.
Selling them?
I'm just kidding.
That's somebody
did a $10 super chat to Nova, and
For a
said,
wrench.
yeah, and said, could you give me my wrench now? You've been saying you're gonna. And he's like, sure. And I'm like, oh, you're selling them? And then Lisa, the driven mom, Lisa,
Right.
was in there, and she didn't have a wrench, and I super chatted him $2 and said, this is for Lisa's wrench. And he's like, okay, Lisa gets one too. And everybody in the chat was laughing, dude. They were like, wait, you're really selling wrenches right now? For real? It's recorded.
Whatever. Wait, is that against YouTube policy?
I was thinking about using it for a clip, like an intro to Thursday night. like Marco selling his wrenches.
Is that against YouTube policy though? I don't think
They're
it
your
is.
wrenches to give.
Yeah.
Maybe you pay your moderators, man. I don't know.
Yeah. So if you want a wrench here, just send me.
I mean,
some
moderators
money,
on
PayPal.
Facebook can be paid.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming if it's your business, if it's you, you're allowed to. I mean, they're independent contractors, right? Hey, what do you know?
Hey, J-Walk.
All right.
Hey, what's up, Sam? How are you?
Coming back, Steve.
Coming back on the
Oh, just so you know, guys, I'm not allowed to watch the comments. So when we come back, so I'm off.
allowed. Coming back on the radio side here in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back in TNC Radio.live. It's a Friday night. Driver Nation. Tom Kelly along with Steve and Gary and a whole cast of characters who are out there in the YouTube world. You're welcome to call in, join the conversation. TNC. Let's see, call 706 TNC 0. That's 706-862-8620. Would love to have your call. And guys, let's see. I was going to share something here with you on. Wait just a second. And let's see. Can I share my screen with you? Is that possible through this?
Yeah. Down at the bottom there, hit share.
Yeah,
and hit.
just hit. Yeah, and then if you've got it on a tab or whatever, yeah.
Share screen. Okay. Yeah. Select window or screen. That one right there. So how's that?
Yeah, like I said, a little longer, man.
A little longer. Tom and Jerry together there. There it is.
Tom and Jerry. Hey, another plug.
That's right. Jerry. I bet you like that.
Yeah, dude, I love that. I'm a big Garcia fan. In fact, I'm a big Garcia fan. I'll say this of his other projects. Oddly, I like everything he did, but I loved things like Jerry Garcia Band, Garcia Grisman, these other projects that were really awesome. Really showcased what he can do. Because I think a lot of people wrote him off as the psychedelic player who, I'm not really sure it's Grateful Dead, right? And I don't think people really knew his bluegrass roots and what he was really able to do.
Well, it's funny how a lot of these, famous artists that are known for one thing, that's not what got them excited about music to start with. Eric Clapton, he's blues all the way. If it was up to him, he'd play rock and roll at all. He was a blues guy. And,
well, I don't know if you remembered, after his kid died, he did like the next 5 years of his tour didn't have any of his Clapton hits.
Right.
He did this whole blues show for like 5 years. That's all he was doing was his old blues show.
And he loved it. The people going
like Derek and the Dominoes, old stuff, like really going back.
So Clapton, he's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 3 different ways now, isn't he?
Cream, Cream, Clapton, and Derek and the Dominoes.
Yardbirds. Was he in Yardbirds?
So he doesn't have one on his own.
Yeah, he's got his own.
So I don't think Cream has made it, haven't they?
Well, I'm saying yes. I don't remember off the top of my head. I can look it up here.
Maybe they haven't, but I would assume they have.
So let's see here. He was in the Yardbirds. That's right. So
Yeah. He's in all those. I'm just wondering if Cream has made it.
they have to, right?
I don't know, man. Every time I say that, for some reason, somebody isn't. Where I'm like, what?
I'm shocked not in there. That it took Rush 20 years to get in there. It was ridiculous.
By the way, you guys, when you walk into the in Cleveland, when you walk into the music Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, when you get to the bottom, there's a circular thing of 7 guitars. Those are all of the guitars that Jerry Garcia played. It's the first thing you see when you walk in. Just speaking of the fact that we have Jerry Garcia back from the dead here tonight. Jerry.
Yeah, of course.
And where's Elvis?
He has left the building.
Well, has he though? I'll tell you what. I went to see, I went to see a band.
I confirmed it. Right. Yeah. It's solo artist, Yardbirds, and Cream.
So no Derek and the Dominoes.
No Derek and the Dominoes.
That was Derek and the Dominoes were an amazing lineup of musicians. That's pretty weird that they didn't make the cut.
Derek and the Dominoes?
That's Clapton's band, yeah. I mean, he was in it. I mean, a lot of these bands, like, you probably don't realize that, like, Genesis, okay? Tom will know this, but, like, Genesis had Peter Gabriel, Phil Collins. Who am I forgetting? Because they all went on to have amazing careers.
Right.
Then I'm thinking, Gary, you probably know every one of them as their career, and you know Genesis, but you didn't know that at least the early Genesis was this core base of amazing musicians.
Gabriel, Tony Banks, Ant Phillips, Mike Rutherford, and Chris Stewart, who of course was replaced by Phil Collins.
Right. But I mean, just amazing musicians that played, a lot of these bands. You take some of these great musicians and you backtrack to what they did, and they played in some amazing bands. You'll recognize the bands too, but it's sometimes fun. It's fun to backlog these people's careers. But so anyway, we talked about this. I want to bring this around a little here. So we talked about this last night. I found a different article on it today in CNN Business that says Uber now lets users text with a safety agent to monitor rides. This article might be worse than the other one, Gary, because it really hits on the ADT fact, and it even said something that was kind of scary to me. It said that okay, here's what it says. So Uber is giving riders the ability to connect with a safety agent while taking a nerve-wracking trip. That's the opening sentence.
Right.
Meaning what? Everyone is a nerve-wracking trip? Come on. Making it the latest feature the company has added. Okay, it's not a feature. It's stupid. To address safety concerns. That doesn't address my safety concerns. That's bullcrap. The company said the capability is intended to help both riders and drivers in situations that may not warrant calling the police or other emergency assistance. Instead, they'll be connected to a live safety agent from ADT. The security specialists at ADT will monitor these people, and they will say, "Hey, we got you, dude. We're ADT, man. Come on, you know our history. We fail at everything."
Well, here's my thing. I read the next line. It says, "You may be feeling uncomfortable on a ride." Okay, cancel the ride and move on. Right. It's that simple.
I think that they're saying when they say on a ride, you're on the ride. You're in the car.
Oh, okay, but it either warrants pulling over, asking the people to get out your car.
Right. But again, right now, we're just talking on the preface to Tom. We haven't even offended you yet with what the real story is that now they've made it so that the rider or the driver has to push the shield in the upper right corner, go through flow screens to get ADT on the line about an emergency that they'll determine whether or not you call the police. So what they're saying is it's the new 911. Like, instead of 911, we want you to do this.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Well, that's what I'm getting at, though. Like, there's only a couple scenarios I can think, and one's either 911 or I pull over and I ask them to get out of my car. Like, what else?
Gary, why don't you just make, would it be any harder than like just a simple Flex Alert type app where for you to make an app that just runs in the background that if you push a button it calls 911?
No.
Wait, nobody can do that. That's trademarked.
It's not trademarked.
I mean, it's trademarked to you from me.
Oh, yeah, by me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like we discussed this last night, like some of these safety features that they roll out with, like the, track my ride and stuff, I've had in Maximo since 2015 or whatever.
And like I said, Max has been able to track me for years.
Yeah. And so like, but they're releasing them now as like new, like that ain't new.
All they've done is given ADT a contract.
Yeah.
That basically ADT will determine if your 911 call is a worthy 911 call.
And
when, first of all, I don't really give any clout to ADT. I think the only thing ADT has ever done for people is provide a sign for the front yard that might deter somebody to your neighbor's house. Other than that sign, I think that if you break in, you're going to get away with everything because ADT has never caught anybody. I think you're better off with a Ring camera or some kind of video equipment that...
Or both.
Again, ADT reminds me of Muzak. It should be closed and out of business. It serves no purpose.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, I can't think of any situation where I need to call ADT. Like, I just can't. Like, how's that any different than just calling somebody and be like, hey, I'm on this sketchy ride. Stay on the phone.
Right.
Why?
Or
I'm
the ADT agent. And I go, well, how sketchy?
Right. Well, and
break this down for me. Well, he's listening to us talking. I know, but I don't really feel it.
and the next thing is, how much is Uber paying for this? Like, how much are they paying ADT for this when they could give that money elsewhere?
There you go. That's the question.
Yeah.
Gary, I told the story, probably close to a year ago now when we first were starting. I was doing a pickup. And it was I was supposed to pick somebody up at 6:30, and it was a very nice neighborhood. And I got there about 6:20. Okay, so I don't mean to rush people. I was a little bit ahead of schedule, and so I figured I'd sit and there's always something you'd be doing on your phone, messing around with stuff. So I parked about a block away, and it was one of those streets that. The street's on one side, and then there's a cross street, and then kind of a cul-de-sac. So I went to the cul-de-sac part and parked there, and there was this couple in front of me that were making out. I didn't pay any attention to them. So I go over and I pull up in front of the house where I'm supposed to pick up these people, and I'm halfway aware that the car behind me now, where they were making out, they've moved the car. And now it's right behind me. And the guy gets out of the car and jumps in my car. Okay. And he's on the back seat and he's like, yeah, I'm Steve. I'm here to, it's like, oh, okay. Well, that's kind of weird. He didn't come out of the house. He came out of a different car. So we start going and he says, yeah, I'm going to go to timeout 2. Oh, okay. I know where that bar is. Yeah, okay. We go to timeout 2. So we're going to timeout 2. And then after a little while, he's kind of messing on his phone. He goes, oh, no, man, I need to go to timeout 3, which is way far away. It's like, okay, fine. Put it in. And then he's like, oh, man, now maybe I'm supposed to go to timeout 1. Now this guy is real shady looking to start. So if you don't mind, I've got to call my wife real quick because I told her I'd be home by 7. I'm not going to make it if I take you to timeout 3. So you don't mind, do you? And he's like, no. Well, my wife and I have a code. I don't know what the code is, but we have a code. And I called her up and I said, hi, honey. You're still tracking me, right? Oh, yeah. I said, Yeah, I've got Steve in the car here with me, and he wants to go to timeout 3, so I won't be home by 7. Okay? And in the process of all of that, I've told her, keep an eye on me, and make sure that I'm not stopping somewhere strange, because, well, as soon as I do that, he comes back. Oh, change my mind. Let's go to timeout 2. It's closer. We'll just do that.
He was going to kill you at timeout 3.
There was that. I don't know what the guy was, but you should have a code with somebody that you can call and say, I'm not real sure about this guy. Yeah. I mean, maybe it was nothing, but he was just acting strange. He got in my car strange. The whole thing. I wasn't afraid, but I was like, the better part of wisdom says I should let somebody know where I am. At least you can find the body. That's
right.
So I thought of wait, pull that down for 1 second, Gary, because someone gets sidetracked. But hey, Dana, how are you? It's good to have you in here. I always like you showing up. But give me 1 second. So I thought of a way, we've talked about bear spray, all this kind of stuff. What could you do to deter? There needs to be a button added to the car of gig workers where if you push it, a boat horn goes off, red disco lights start flashing in the car, and the car stops, and it's loud as it can be. And it can't be restarted for 15 minutes if you push the button. But I'm talking, boat horn where you're like, and you'd have to get out of the car. Just a thought. Okay, now you can bring up Dana's comment.
Yeah, here's Dana's comment. It says, Lyft's emergency safety is a joke. I used it in a situation back in March, and I had to jump through hoops to get help. If I had not been able to defend myself, who knows what would have happened.
Yeah. I mean, Dana's, I don't know if you guys know Dana. He did a podcast with me months back. I've been keeping in touch with him for a while. He's been a listener for a while, audio podcast. He's Boston market. He's been driving. He is a driver's ed teacher in Boston.
I thought there was a CEO of Uber there. So
no, but he's a driver's ed teacher. But he does gig work, if I remember right, about 30 hours a week. So it's like in between that middle ground of like part full time. And but he's been doing it since 2015 like that. So he gets these platforms too. I mean, like he understands, he's seen the changes from Lyft from 2015 to now. So for him to make that comment is a pretty solid comment. That's not some newbie driver coming on and claiming, like he knows.
Right. Well, and we discussed this last night that every one of these emergency systems that they have are very complicated. It's not like you press a button, you get help. You got to press a button, press another button,
flow screens,
swipe.
Yeah.
It's like,
because in an emergency, dude, obviously that's even just having to touch the blue thing is something that's going to put the person on alert that you're fearing. That's going to put that person on alert. I guess not for the passenger, because the drivers, we're just used to you guys being on your phone, so you could be doing whatever you want. Sure. But for us drivers, I don't see the point in that. I actually don't for the passengers either. Actually, maybe for that reason, this is good, because I think a lot of passengers probably do waste a lot of 911 time. He took the wrong turn. Oh my God, this is 911.
Yeah.
Shut up. Call Uber, not 911. So maybe that's kind of what it is. Call Uber, not 911, has been too much of a factor in too many cities. And so they said, you need to have a team. And they said, well, ADT's going out of business. They're just a crappy home defense system that can't do anything, and Ring doorbells put them out of business. Let's just hire their people for nickels on the dollar and, just say that we have our own safety team.
Steve, if anybody would know this, it'd be you. Do we have any stats at all on driver crime?
Well, to be honest, it's pretty close to not even skewed. It's pretty close to the amount of driver on it happens a lot. A lot. Yeah, I don't know. Who has that information, to be honest? Because I'll be honest with you. It's funny you bring this up, because I probably there would probably be a way for maybe even Gary could think of how to do it, how to go through my 3,500 articles and pull up how many of them were deaths. I mean, I can look up words, but it could come up like 27,000 times. But like, if to find out how many were actually done, because that would be from 2017. A lot of them are listed, not all of them, but I do know that the rideshare professor Torsten has a database of all of it. I wonder if I could access that database.
I'm just curious because, we get lots of press about driver on customer crime and sexual crimes and, all this different stuff. But I got to think it's at least as bad going the other way.
Well, just a quick Google search over in between 2017 and 2019, 4,000 passengers assaulted drivers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not forget how crazy it gets too. Remember the two girls? Remember that one where the guy was holding on
And to the car and they ran him over?
Oh my God. They ran him into a pole and then ran him over.
No, I didn't know that one.
So these girls were like 14 or 14 and 15. There were two girls and they jacked this Uber Eats driver and he tried to run after the car and he grabbed on and they ran into a sign and took him out and then ran over his head or something and just nasty. And then they went forward and ran into a wall and got caught or one of those street poles or something.
He ended up dying, right?
Yeah, he died.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would assume that they ran over his head. Yeah. You're going to.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it was dead he wasn't even like taken to the hospital. He was dead on the scene.
Well, I guess the part I'm struggling with is we get what I saw the article the other day, 5,500, whatever it is, people suing Uber and Lyft for crimes that have taken place. But, the other way around, is there a group of drivers who are suing Uber or Lyft for crimes committed by passengers? Because remember, if Uber and Lyft are responsible for the behavior of the drivers, remember, they're not in charge of the drivers, right? They're just a platform that are putting people together. So they're just as culpable of a passenger hitting a driver as a driver hitting a passenger. You put us together. So it's
right.
That's
what I was mentioning earlier was this. Where is it? No, I had it up from San Francisco Gate. Yeah, this this lawsuit on assault allegations, sexual misconduct is 17 passengers and drivers that are suing Lyft right now. So this is a mix of both.
Yeah.
Both coming at the platform. So
I'm way overdue for a break on the radio side, so let me do that. We'll be back in just a minute. You're listening to TNC Radio.live. Stay right there. And over here on the YouTube side, we keep right on going here, and I'll bring us back in on the radio side in a few minutes. I need to step away for just a moment, and
I'm going to say hi to whoever got in here.
Yeah, Dana, Jaywalk, cruising.
Yeah. Jaywalk is not Jaywalk, it's Sam. Right?
I know, it's Sam.
Yeah, I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
We all know.
I know.
Hey,
he
what's
refuses
up, Sam?
to change his name.
Well, the other Jaywalk is kind of done. I mean, other than visits, right? I mean, I don't know. I know he has an audio podcast because I actually follow it. Once I learned of it. Yeah, because I'm on, because I'm on Podbean. And that's, right. I don't know if that's the one he uses, but he's on there. So yeah, I follow it. Sure, why not? Let's see.
Oh, and Jaywalk, to answer your question, I don't use the user content controller because I don't use web views in my iOS app.
Hey, Dana, what's up? I think I already kind of said hi to you, but it's good to have you in here. Cruise and Dasher, if you had stepped out, I did shout out to you at a little ways back. We can discuss.
Well, he was talking about the iOS version of DUH. Okay.
And what's up, Gigaholic Rex? How are you? So yeah.
Hey, speaking of podcast, when is your next alien podcast thing?
I don't know. I was actually going to see if one could be tonight, but it's my son's birthday. And again,
what is he,
your
16?
son already, I was going to say your son already passed 16. So he's out with his friends. He actually took his friends to the pool where he works at, where he's a lifeguard.
Oh, nice.
And he got them to they're all in there. They got the pool alone. I think they even, it's a rec center. They closed it an hour early for him, just so those guys could party in the pool.
He's got pool. He's already got pool at the pool.
I mean, you know what though, and I think we all can agree on this. That's a testament to how hard he worked this summer.
Yeah, for
a city rec center boss to say, yeah, we can close an hour early tonight on a Friday. That says a lot. He worked very hard. Good. I'm very proud
we
of
talked
him.
about this not too long ago.
But then he
don't want to hang out with me.
Well, but he does. It keeps saying, no, I'm going to come back. But I keep feeling like I'm trying to remember my 16. I feel like when him and his friends are done there, it's going to be the next thing. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, sometimes they go out, sometimes they don't. He usually knows things, and he usually tells me straight up the way it is. I don't think he's hiding anything. I just feel like he's going to be like, oh, we are going to go out. So I'm expecting it, but we're going to go try and see my mom tomorrow. And I think that, so he knows that. So we could just do it then.
When's he going to go get his driver's license?
Max, if you're not listening, but if you do listen to this, Max, that he knows it's on you, bro. It is on you. All I've told him is, dude, just tell me and we'll go. We went over there and I was like, this is weird setup. And he's like, yeah, maybe I was supposed to make a reservation. I don't go to the DMV anymore. I haven't been in forever, dude. Yeah. Here in Colorado, you don't ever have to go except for every 15 years.
Well, sometimes you got to make here, you got to make a reservation.
Well, we went there. Test. We stood in line for 20 minutes and I was like, dude, go ask if we need a reservation. The line was going outside. He's like, right. Oh, we do. I'm like, let's go. I left and I'm like, make a reservation.
All right, guys, coming back in 5.
You're right.
3, 2, 1. In the wrong channel there. Let's try it one more time. Welcome back in TNC Radio.live. This is Driver Nation on a Friday night. I'm Tom Kelly along with Steve and Gary, talking about a lot of different things. I'm going to get back to this topic here for a moment around driver safety. Steve, just your personal feelings, and this is laws and rules and everything else beside, just your personal feeling. Your feeling about drivers being armed, knife, gun.
It's so funny. It's so funny you say that. I'm not even kidding, Tom. And for those of you that saw the para video that I did this week, you guys, Tom and I have not spoken about this at all. And that was, I had a panel. You'll have to go back and watch the video, but I had a panel where we just talked about safety, and I came up with 10 things that we're going to talk about. One of them was weapons, and we actually ended up hitting on it for a lot longer than I expected. How do we feel? I used it. How I said it was taser, mace, or weapon, or other weapons, meaning knife, gun, whatever your state might allow, and staying within the laws. Mm-hmm. If it wasn't against the TOS or whatever, how do we feel about it? And I found the same thing I usually find when I ask people, that about half of the people I know carry, I made the list very easy. Taser, mace, could be just one of those or both those, or weapon. And everybody either said that they do carry one of those things, or that they don't, but they have no problem with other drivers doing it. Not one person had an issue.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just curious what people thought about that.
I mean, this was a 7-person panel with all different types of personalities, and so even if they didn't have a problem with drivers doing it, and they understood the need and the right. The only thing that was brought up was stay within your state limits. It was like, yeah, we could have argued the point of the TOS. The TOS says no. Well, this is your life. I don't care about a TOS when it comes to your life.
So they're going to hire me. My guess is if I was ever in a position where I was forced to use violence against somebody, I'm probably not going to be back the next day anyway. So
and here's my guess anyway. Here, guys, take this again. I'm going to be very careful in the way I say things. So this is just an opinion. Do not use this.
Yeah,
this is opinion. But I would think that if you had to defend yourself and there was a cause for a weapon or something, and the police get there and they determine that, okay, and you got a police report, yeah, you're off the platform, but I think that you don't need to be working the platform anymore because you're going to be suing them.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, some lawyer is going to find an angle for you to sue, and they're going to sue and settle something out of court. My guess is you don't go to court, but yeah, Uber, Lyft, they settle something. You're going to get a lot of money if you were attacked. Yeah, you can't drive anymore. Well, no problem. I'm suing you for $4 million. So I don't need to be on the platform, idiot.
I wonder, we talk a lot about where does all their money go? They make all this money and they don't have any cash,
or assets.
How many lawsuits per day, not per week, how many lawsuits per day does Uber lose?
I don't know. You just got me wondering though, if how many, is Uber washing money for investors through lawyers? Dude, we have to hear all this money just goes to the damn lawyers, man. I don't even know. You try and figure that out, because who's gonna do that audit?
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah.
I mean, an audit between a force the size of Uber and 4,000 attorneys. Nobody's taking that on. So it's like it would actually work. And Uber, if you steal that idea, I want my cut. but I want my money clean too. I want you to wash it first.
Needs to go through Venmo.
Right. Yeah. And it needs to be clean, and it needs to be surging a lot. I do have an article here that bugs me a bit, you guys.
Sure.
It's a great opener, right? So this is a Grubhub deal with Bank of America. I don't mind what they're doing. I think it's a great thing. And I understand that it's because they're charitable organizations here. Okay, so don't get me wrong. But they have an option for the Grubhub Plus members to round up, the Donate the Change program, which rounds you up to the next dollar.
Right.
And then it goes to 20 charitable organizations, right? Okay, right. Well, that was 25 million in 2021. Why didn't that just get redistributed to the drivers?
Where's it going currently?
20 charitable organizations. I'm sure that there are write-offs and all that, yes. But my point is wouldn't they not have to claim it as revenue because we're independent anyway, to just pass it on to us? That seems to me to be, and don't get me wrong, I love that they're working with charitable organizations, but it seems to me that 25 million could have gone right back to drivers. And it seems like a good idea for all these companies. Round up the drive to help your drivers.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Most of us don't mind rounding up because it's easier to look at even numbers anyway. Because it's easier to remember. Was that right?
Right.
So to be honest, and you opt into that anyway. You don't have to do it. But if you opt into it, and a lot of people do, that seems like a lot of money they could redistribute to the drivers. I understand they don't want to help the drivers, but when you're handed an option to maybe help them and you're going to be giving the money away anyway.
Well, I would agree if it was going to make a difference for drivers. But I mean, you're talking about 25 million divided by what, 2-3 million drivers?
2.5 million. Yeah. 10 back.
Yeah.
Okay. But what about 25 million towards a Geico policy that helps you get a half price policy?
Okay.
Yeah, now I could see that.
Yeah.
But I mean, just taking it and distributing it, giving everybody.
No, I'm not saying give everybody. I'm not saying treat it like what do you call it? A class action lawsuit where everybody gets a dime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, but like something like that then.
Sure.
Give it to Geico and say, hey, here's 25 million. We need you to ensure our gig workers better.
Re-implement the subway stuff.
What do you mean?
The what?
We had a deal with Subway for a while that ended one day instantly.
You know, that deal was a joke, man. It never, most Subways, all the Subways here all had signs on the window that said, don't even ask about the damn Uber promotion. We don't do it.
Well, we didn't.
The one closest to me said Uber drivers, and it swore. It had a piece of cardboard duct taped to the window. It said, you don't get a free fucking cookie. Okay. And that's when Uber was saying, just stop by. And if nothing else, it was saying, you don't even have to buy anything. You can get a fountain drink or a cookie for free. And they put up, you don't get a fucking cookie, Uber drivers.
Wait, are we allowed to cuss on this radio show?
To my mother, I apologize because I know you're listening, but it wasn't me. It wasn't me. But anyway, yeah, I know.
I even tell people not to cuss on my channel, and I said that. Oh my god!
I know that it didn't work everywhere, but I'm saying
I'm so sorry.
Something like that, where we get a discount someplace because they kind of deal with Subway or Jimmy John's or whatever. You know, feed me. You know, there's something you guys can do.
The problem is, I don't think they tell these companies that they're doing it. Like, literally, I'm not kidding. I think they're like, you guys can go get a free sub at Subway, and Subway's like, no, you can't.
Well, the problem with that though is like a lot of Subways are franchised. So
yeah, the problem is they didn't bring the franchises in.
They brought the corporate stores.
Right, and a lot of stores, the big corporate stores or large franchisees that would be in on something like that. But I think there was only one time where I went to a Subway and they didn't honor that. It was pretty good though. I liked it, because hey, if I've got my choice to stop at a couple of different places and one of them's going to give me a free Coke or a cookie or whatever, sure, I'll stop there. Right. I wouldn't be but they could. Well, my point is, there's so many different types of things. Yeah, Geico was a special deal there. That would be great. If it could be a food deal. Get with some of these other companies that are really struggling, and like AMC, cut a deal for movies. There's a lot of things they could do. Because they've got these couple million drivers out there, we have buying power. They should be working with other companies to do some things that could be good for us and whatever company that wants to work with us. But again, for a couple of companies that are so visionary as to come up with this stuff and to make it work and to make a bunch of money off of it and all that, they have no vision now. I don't see anything like that where you go, well, that's actually a pretty good idea. When was the last time Uber or Lyft said something? And this is for anybody. Uber or Lyft said something where you went, well, that's a damn good idea. That's a good idea. We ought to do that. And I haven't seen anything like that in years. Certainly before the pandemic. Since then, it's just been, somebody referred to, they were out there earlier. We call our show in the mornings the morning grind. It's just a grind. There's no, the fun's out of it. They don't do they're not coming up with anything that makes it exciting anymore.
Right. Yeah. Everybody. Well, it turned into something that was fun to do into a job. Like I think that's it, because I know whenever I started doing rideshare, it's like, oh, I'm gonna go out Friday night, Saturday night, whatever. I make a couple $100, I'll go home. I still had my W-2 at the time, and then slowly over the years, it became a real job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It became drudgery. Yeah. And it lost its. I mean, some people are still doing it. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's still a lot of drivers out there who. And I still say it's strangely addicting. I don't know what it is about this whole thing that makes it so addicting, but it's strangely addicting. But there's still, it's not what it was. And
well, see, I've always said that. Like, I'm probably going to be a gig worker for the rest of my life. I just am. As long as they're around, I'm probably going to do it. Yep. Just because I don't like answering to other people. I don't like having bosses. I don't like going and clocking in at 7
Just
in
say
the
it,
morning.
Gary. You don't like other people.
Yeah, I really don't like other people. But
Not a people person.
yeah, but I mean, it's like a lot of people don't understand. Like we talk freedom and flexibility all the time. Like I don't have to wake up at 5 in the morning, get ready for work so I can be there by 7. I got to fight traffic. No, I roll out of bed whenever I want. If I don't roll out of bed in time to hit a certain lunch rush or dinner rush or whatever I need to do or busy time, well, that's my fault.
Mhm.
You know, there's nobody else I can blame. But like I can't ever see myself going back to a real W-2 job unless I'm just forced to. So you know, it's still fun for me. I still have a good time whenever I go out. Yeah, there's still certain times that's like, "Ah, really, this sucks. But then there's other times where you go out, you know, make $150 over lunch. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna take off on dinner. You know,
Yeah. So I know we're going to move to a break here in a second. So I just at least wanted to say this because you said that though. There's a study out, a good article on 9 in 10 employees vow to continue gig jobs until retirement. 9
What?
in 10 employees vow to continue gig jobs until retirement. So that's even
Yeah.
people in the W-2 world saying, hey man, that retirement thing's gone. I'm gonna be doing this stuff for a while.
It's so easy though. I mean, I
It
don't think a
is.
lot.
I mean, it
Like
probably
it's
takes
just
away some
so
boredom,
easy.
too. And
Like gig work is so easy.
well, first of all, let's
and-
be honest and very clear. Which gig work is? I mean, there's gig. I'm saying this because I was doing gig and freelance work before gig
Okay,
platforms were around,
let's
so
say
this is-
rideshare, food delivery, package delivery. Those are so easy. Well, even like my roadside service, but all that's just so easy to do. Why would you not? I mean, you can go
It
out and
is,
work a
but it
couple
takes
hours.
complete concentration. You got to be very careful. I mean, I think that's overlooked too. Like when we say it's so easy, it's it's grinding all day to have to.
I'm saying the actual job itself is pretty easy compared to a lot of jobs. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
like food delivery. You pick up food, you deliver food. I mean, unless you just got this streak of bad luck that every order is a crappy order or every order something goes wrong. I know most of my days are picking up, dropping off, picking up, dropping off. Very simple process.
It's a lot easier than digging a hole in the Houston heat.
Yeah.
You know. Hey, I got to
No, I don't know. I've never had to do that.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back. You're listening to TNC Radio.live. Stay right there.
Clear.
As we come back, we'll put a wrap on this show. And
I pinned a comment for you there, Steve.
Oh, hey, thanks, Heidi. I appreciate that. What's up, Sensei? What's up, Heidi? What's up, Sensei? What's up, Bonsai? Oh, I know Who's Bonsai?
I don't know who's Bonsai. Where you see Bonsai? Oh,
well,
I see
I'm glad.
Bonsai.
The reason I'm glad is because I this is what I like. I like to see people who show up that like if we because now I'm gonna watch because like I said, I like to give people mod handles. So
yeah, he does that so nobody can mute him, and then we get stuck. Well, I can mute him. I got the double wrench. I paid him triple the amount.
Yeah,
that's funny. Gigaholic Rex says that's me. I don't know what he's referring to though. Are you referring to Bonsai or conversation we was having about never giving up gig work?
Or maybe he's talking about the conversation Heidi's having above.
Yes, please thumbs up or thumbs down if you don't like it. But hopefully
either one helps.
Yep.
Either one. But you better thumbs up. Come on.
Yeah.
Don't be a blank. Not fill in that blank with whatever you want.
You know, we've been off on this Sunday fun day. Like you keep changing time. What are you doing it normal time this next week?
What do you mean? I knew you were bailing last week, so I was like, I'm solo, man. It's all on me. You had a pre-warning you were bailing, so
at least I gave you a heads up.
No, that's what I'm saying. So I just did it, But also, That was the night after that I had to go to the intensive care. So
Yeah, your asthma or whatever,
yeah, I'm
allergies
fine.
or
It's getting better. I don't know what it was. It gets bad here in Colorado this time of year.
When does it start cooling off there in Colorado?
It should already be doing that a little. We're still hitting 100, man. It's not
really
cool.
See,
Yeah.
we're not in. I'm in Oklahoma right now, but we're 90s, like low 90s and the 80s.
We're like mid 90s, I guess, maybe. But like we've had a couple like screamer days here lately.
Yeah,
I don't know. You saw John. I felt like I need to be John Dash, like how he always comes on to our round table when he fills in with like his
looking
with
like
his
you ran a
tank top.
marathon.
Like, yeah. And when he ran yesterday, I was thinking of a green screen behind him. It was perfect.
That
He could
would have
have
been
done so
perfect,
much
yeah.
with that, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
look
see,
at John Dash.
Gigaholic said he's going to be doing gig work till his retirement. Or
Yeah. I mean,
basically.
I am
111 in California. Damn, Rodney.
Yeah.
15. Damn, Heidi. Damn.
Wow.
Screw that.
Air conditioning doesn't even help at that point. It just blows dust in and says, nope.
What's the temperature in Florida right now? Oh, see, it's 84 degrees right now where my house is in Florida. Like, that's nice.
Right. Well, you're not in your house in Florida. You're in your
I
house
know.
in Oklahoma.
I'm in Oklahoma. I know. Yeah, the wife leaves here in a couple of weeks to go back to Florida.
Well, it's 82 here in Houston right now. The humidity is 69%.
Jaywalk says 75 and 60 tonight.
All right, here we go.
60. Yep.
8 minutes left. 3.
I'm turning off the comments.
Welcome back in Friday night, TNC Radio.live. This is Driver Nation. I'm Tom Kelly along with Steve and Gary and cast of characters out there on YouTube. And we appreciate y'all listening in and sticking with us tonight. A little bouncing around tonight. That's okay. We've got just about 8 minutes left in the program thereabouts. So, guys, real quickly, let's start with you, Gary. If people want to know more about your apps, is there like a Gary's apps or something where they can go and find out more about
it? He says it like he didn't know. Yeah, they can go to garysapps.com and it'll list all 3 of the gig worker apps I have available there with links on how to download them and descriptions of what they do.
Just in general, what do they do?
I call them safety apps. They're basically your personal assistant. You go in there, you give it some parameters of what you want to accept or decline, and then it will do that for you for your rideshare or your food delivery apps. Flex Alert, for example, it's for the Amazon Flex workers out there. Instead of tapping your screen 100 times yourself, it will do that for you and then give you an audible alert. There's so many features in there for safety because I did build these based off safety. Coming from a trucking background, I don't want to have to touch my phone while I drive.
Exactly.
And so I built in features that, I think would be helpful, such as, when the order comes in, it'll speak to you so you don't even have to look at your phone. You can turn on the voice commands and actually accept or decline by voice as well, besides your parameters that it will automatically do things for you.
Gotcha.
I was going to say the biggest one though is for it automatically to do it. No voice.
Yeah.
Just set it so that you guys don't have to touch the phone in an intersection and die.
Or get a ticket because you're touching your phone. I know a lot of states
more concerned with
cracking
dying
down on that. Yeah.
More concerned about you dying.
On the TNC Radio.live app, a lot of people say, well, gosh, that's kind of a boring app. It's for truckers. Yeah, if I made it an exciting, hey, watch all this. Do you really want somebody driving an 80,000-pound vehicle down the highway at 65 miles an hour, watching a video? And that's we keep it as simple as we possibly can. When you're calling into the show with TNC Radio.live, you press call us You got 3 choices. You press one button, no phone numbers to memorize, no phone numbers to dial, puts you right into whatever show it is that you want to be in. So we're trying to make it really, really simple on the app side. And okay, I'll take the criticism. It's boring. Yeah. It's boring.
Boring, but it's safe.
It's safe. I mean, that's I would be mortified if I thought that somebody had been in a wreck because they were having to mess around with one of our apps. Just mortified,
Right.
And like I told you, we just drove 2,000 miles in 96 hours. We're touching the phone a lot while we're driving. It's like, okay, we want to stop in an hour and a half to get something to eat. What's going to be out there? So you're messing around, and we try, that the passenger should do that, and the driver should. But sometimes the passenger's asleep, the driver's trying to, find a new radio station, and where are we going to stop next? So you do touch the apps. The ones that work best are the ones that are the most simple.
Right, one or 2 touches, and you're there. Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Steve, tell us about what you do and how people can find out more about you.
Well, I work with lasers, and you can find me at lasernet.com. Actually, you can, and I do work with lasers. However, I think Tom's referring to my gig work.
Whatever you want to talk about.
No. You can find everything at uberliftdrivers.com. That's been around for 6 years now. Rideshare Rodeo, the podcast, can be found on the website, or you can find it on any player out there, Spotify, Apple Music, Google, Stitcher, any of them. Every podcast platform. And then YouTube, obviously people here are here, but if you're listening on the radio side, everything can be found through uberliftdrivers.com. It all centralizes through there, and pretty easy to follow too. I've always kept it clean and simple. So,
all right. Well, I've shut down the phone line. Hopefully next week, we're going to really press next week, try to get some callers in here. And Jason Jerry will be back next week right here from the Gig Economy podcast. And it'd be good to catch up with Jason. He spends his summers digging holes and cutting yards and doing all that kind of stuff. And so I'm sure he's ready to pack it in for the winter months and get back to doing some fun gig work. And so we're looking forward to having him back here tonight or next week.
That's right.
Yes. So looking forward to that. Anything else? Closing comments here, Gary? Anything else from you, sir?
No, not that I can think of. If anybody wants to have fun, they can join us on Sunday Fun Day right here on YouTube, Rideshare Rodeo.
What time is that?
Yeah, Steve, what time is that?
I say 10 a.m.
Mountain Standard Time. Yeah,
10 a.m. Mountain Time. That's
so
noon.
11 a.m. Central and 12 Eastern.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep, you got it. So
and that just gets weird sometimes. I am trying to make sure I start off with a topic. We'll talk about one thing, and then wherever it goes, it goes.
There you go. And for those of you out driving truck and stuff, I know sometimes you wish you could go to church. You can't do that on a Sunday morning. So we do have Truckers Church on Sunday morning. So you can catch that here on tncradio.live as well. Don't forget Saturdays too. It's all about fishing and golf and cars and all that. So that's what we do. We have a show about fishing. We have a couple of shows about cars. We got a show about golf and all sorts of good stuff. So you can enjoy us on Saturdays. Always something going on right here on tncradio.live. Hey, maybe you've never heard one of Steve's podcasts before. You're interested in what he does and how he's doing it. Stay tuned. In just a couple of minutes, we're going to be cutting over to one of Steve's previous podcasts. Check it out. And if you like it, look him up and download more. He's got lots of great stuff out there. So all of that available to you here on tncradio.live. Remember, everybody, your personal safety is ultimately your responsibility. So you do the smart things, get the smart apps, check out Gary's apps, and do what you think is right. Don't let any terms of service or anything else determine how you're going to protect yourself. Do what you think is the proper thing there, and let's be safe out there. We've got a lot of dangerous people in the world right now, and got to watch out for them. That's for sure. Steve, final word is yours. What you got, bud?
Everybody just start keeping on your radar. Another thing I forgot to even say I did this week, I had Mike Harubi on for the third time to talk about New Jobs America, keeping independent contractorship alive. There's a lot going on with that. You guys get involved. I don't even care which side you're on, but get involved. Look it up. Look up your legislator. Look up your state. Weird things going on everywhere, and the midterms are in November. And I'm not telling you anything. Just do it.
All right, guys, shutting it down on the radio side. TNC Radio.live. Stay tuned next for Rideshare Rodeo. Okay. And we're out.
All of a sudden, I felt like I had to do it. Like, I was like, wait, am I doing a podcast? No, I'm done.
You forgot.
No, it's just, he was saying, I was thinking to my lot, am I doing this right now? What's going on here?
It was a good show. I appreciate it. And Jason joining us again next week. I want you to stick with us too, Gary.
Yeah.
I think next week will be Jesper too.
Good.
It's gonna be both of them.
Oh wow.
So
yeah. So he's bringing a good one.
Yeah.
They're gonna rotate between the smart one and the dumb one. That's all I'll say.
you choose who's who.
All right, guys. Same on this side. We're signing off, you guys. Thank you for joining us. I know this is a little bit of a different format. We're still figuring it out, but check out TNC Radio.live. And TNC Radio Live in a search will bring up Tom's YouTube page, but I'll also put it in the show notes here when we're done. So have a good night. Be safe, you guys, and we'll see you Sunday, if not before.
All right. Take care. Later.
Later.